It sounds like from what you've said, it sounds like your career path has been quite, you've sort of gone from one to another thing quite straightforwardly.
Yes, so it's funny because I remember I was invited to go to a conference, must have been before I had my kids, European Women in Maths, to give a talk, and there were various breakout groups to talk about what it's like being a female mathematician, sort of glass ceiling, barriers, etc. And to be honest, I didn't know what their problem was because as far as I was concerned, everything I had wanted to do, I had done. I think probably if I went back now, I would be a slightly more understanding individual. And I think it's only when you experience it, when you have kids and you have to start making quite hard decisions about what you do or don't want to do. But up until that stage, everything I had wanted to do, I had managed to do, which I think I was lucky. I moved into an area which was just starting to grow at the beginning, and I was, I suppose, in the right place at the right time to exploit opportunities that arose.
And you say that, so you didn't, when you went to that conference, couldn't understand the problem, but obviously you've come on to understand some of those issues. Could you talk a little bit about that?
So sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Do you mean what are the issues, or what was how did
your
I
experience?
Right. So I suppose for me, everything was, as I said, I could, if I wanted to do something, if I put my mind to it, worked hard, you should be able to go out and achieve it. And I suppose it's only when you start to have children, I can't just go to a conference, I have to think about it. There's other people who are demanding of your time, which is I mean, in a totally positive sort of a way. I can't just stay at work, I have to go. I can't just work on something, I have to make a decision, and I hadn't had to do that before. And I suppose, so then you start to miss out because I can't just go to the pub after work with people if I want to. And I suppose, well, again, probably I'm a little bit unusual because, for example, I suppose I still got promotion when my kids were young, and I managed to get a fellowship, etc., etc. So I don't think I was particularly held back as a result of having children. However, moving again became a much more of a question. You couldn't just, if a job came up, I wouldn't just apply lightly because there's more than me to consider. I think probably more I would see the impact on other women sort of following behind me, and particularly, so I had my kids fairly late. I already had my lectureship, and so nobody could take that away from me. Where I have seen the problems is people who decide to have their kids younger, say before they have a permanent position, who work part-time, and then as a result their CVs, they won't have as many publications. There was a perception of them. So this all predates Athena Swan. There was kind of no real recognition, and I saw people's perception of them and whether they should be given a permanent position. I don't think they weren't fully recognising that they were working half-time. Again, if I think from my own experience, when I had my daughter and I came back to work, I was on a fellowship and I, strictly speaking, could be where I wanted. I suppose actually that's one of the times when having kids made a difference, because I was on a fellowship, I could have travelled, gone where I wanted to, I had the money to do it, but I had a baby who was in nursery and a husband who worked. So I couldn't just pick up sticks and go and collaborate with somebody on the other side of the world. I couldn't do that.